Hi everyone, I'm here to do a video on how it is you could travel on a budget. This is for people that want to see different countries and learn about the culture and stuff. And you're not necessarily going to the country to stay in the hotel, sleep in the hotel, and go to the beach that next to the hotel. If it is you like to travel and or you would like to travel, but you on a really tight budget and you're looking for ways to cut down on costs so that you could see a lot and still enjoy yourself, well, this is the video for you. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is how to go. If it is you're going to take a plane, train, boat, or whatever, and you need to do your research on this before you start, you need to check peak time and off peak time, because off peak is where you get the flights really cheap, but it might not necessarily be summer. It might be more in October, more October or September, sometimes September to November actually. And even until now, I find really, really, really cheap flights. But of course, it's a little cold, so we necessarily want to go right now to some places and then work. And the next thing is accommodation, hotels, hostels, friends. You can even use couch surfing. Hospitalityclub.org is also a really good site to go on, and these sites you can meet people, you can meet locals, and the best way for you to go is to be with locals, because you get to taste real food, you get to be with the people and really get to experience it like a local, and it's actually a lot more fun. On top of that, when we go places, we really love to eat food and realize that most of the times really regretful. Well, not regretful really for the experience. It's good because now I know, but regretful because you pay a lot in these restaurants and the food has no taste, and or not to criticize. So sometimes the food is okay, but it is really not all of that in comparison to when you go to a local restaurant and you eat with the local people. The food is amazing in comparison to when you go to a restaurant that is recommended by the tourism office, or by somebody in the hotel or something, like at the hotel they might recommend great restaurants to you. The ambiance is nice, the music is nice, it's really romantic and all fancy and all of that, but in the end, um, when you compare the food you get at a local place and the vibes and everything, it's on two completely different levels, and you'd really love it more if you just go directly, and the local places usually are less expensive. One thing you could do to cut down on expenses is if you carry packed food, noodles, and these different things. You could also go to a local market, like where the farmers come and they sell their crops, and sometimes they come and they have food and or different fast foods, and you could probably buy it and carry back to the hotel and eat if you don't want to eat out on some days. When you're not eating out and going to a hotel, why am I saying hotels? Going to restaurants, um, it really, really, really cuts down on the spending. Um, you could also look for deals. This is what I do. I look for deals on combos on sites like Sky Auction or UD Travel, or I go to different sites where I can get cheap flights and cheap hotels. I usually try to get a hotel where I get breakfast included and for a minimum cost. Also, when it is you doing this, always check for reviews. Always try and call the hotel before and see if you could get some kind of, some kind of liaison with the people at the hotel and try and get a feel of the place, because it could turn out to be kind of crappy. So I never really had the experience where something turned out crappy, but it doesn't mean that it cannot happen. So you should check for deals and stuff with the combos, and always cross reference when it is you're doing this. Don't just choose the first one or just choose the cheapest thing that you see, because sometimes I see things that are really cheap, but the location might not be good, or maybe it can be the staff is not very friendly and these different things. So you should always cross reference. um, what it is I like to do also is that where I put it, it's not here. Oh, what I wanted to say also, I remember now. What I wanted to say also is that when you going to these cheap flights and you see these really, really cheap flights and combos, don't get all excited and buy. The first thing I want you to do before you even start to look for flights and hotels, what you could do, you could click one, because some of them only come up after you choose a destination and a date and everything, and you go straight down to the bottom of the page and look for the fine print, because some sites you get to book cheaper at certain hours or certain dates, and sometimes they're really early, like 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning you have to book in order to get it really cheap. And next thing you can do also is that you can compare like a week before. So if you know you want to travel for, let's say, the end of March, you could start checking from now. And what it is you do is to check and see at 4 in the morning, if you could wake up one day, if it really costs you less, because the flight itself might cost you more and you wouldn't have all these charges and stuff to pay, but the flight itself is still more, might add up to the same thing. I know it's a lot of work, but if you really want to travel on a budget, it's really something you should think about doing. The next thing that you should do also when you go on the sites, whether it's for the hotel or for the airfare or for the boat, the first one is usually the cheapest. Always check how they're connecting, because sometimes it could be really crappy. It might be too close where you could miss the flight and you would have to pay for another one. And when you find the cheapest one, what you must do is take the name of the airline and go to the site of the airline and see if it is getting the flight for the same price or less. A lot of times, believe it or not, you get it for less. And I found out this already, and it was so cool, because I went on the site and I found, I was all excited, and something told me to go to the airline site directly, and I got the flight. Well, in total for the 2 flights, I think it was about 50 euros less. So that's already dinner. That's already dinner. So those are the ideas. And if you want to know how it is you can pack, how you could organize your makeup and all of these different things when you're traveling with a really cheap airline, where you only allowed one free carry-on luggage, whereas your check-in luggage you must pay for it, and it's usually really, really, really expensive. I will do another video on that, because this is also a video I really have been meaning to do. Everybody's saying, well, when you're going to explain, it's just friends really. So I'll do a video on that, on how it is you can pack with just one carry-on luggage with your little makeup and all these different things, and still be able to look glamorous and have fun. So if you have any questions, please ask below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Have a good night, everybody, or good day, whichever it is.